The time has come for those who have requested it. I finally got my hands on Apoc, or for the traditionalist out there, Apocalypse. This X-Men character is one of the newest releases from the Marvel Select line from Diamond Select Toys, and I'm here to talk about it. Thanks to a good friend, a very good friend, he went scouring through all the different comic book shops in town, was able to score one for me, so we're unpacking it and we're going to see what this guy is all about. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and get the size comparisons out of the way, switch things up a little bit. So here it is across various figures from the Marvel Select line. We got Hulk and then a wide variety of X-Men characters, and then that Super Skrull that was just released too. I think he stands pretty good. He's a big figure. He's not the biggest from Marvel Select, but he gets the job done. And then here he is along some 7-inch whatnot lines. We got McFarlane Spawn figures. We got WWE Mattel Masterverse, Creature Replica, Super 7, AEW, NECA, and Storm Collectibles. Now, the 6-inch line. SH Figuarts, Hasbro Black Series, Naughty or Nice, G.I. Joe, Mythic Legions, Mezco, McFarlane 66 Batman, Mafex, and Star Wars. You notice something missing. I'm saving that for the end, but there he stands along other 6-inch scaled figures. Finally, the most random Marvel's Legend size comparison to a Select. Frogman, Movie Mystique, and Dark Beast. Hey, give me a little credit. Dark Beast is somewhat tied to Apocalypse, and so is Mystique. Not that Mystique, but others. So there you go. It's the best I can do with what I got. Now, in terms of articulation, standard movement at the head. It's on a ball peg. It is somewhat limited by the collar, but you do get a decent amount of movement. Not the best, but a decent amount. In terms of the body, at the arms, they go up horizontal. They do spin around. They do go out a bit because of the shoulder armor, but it's not the worst thing. We do have a bicep cut, hinge and swivel at the elbow. No double elbows for those articulation junkies. And then we have rotation and hinge at the hand. Now, this is something I want to talk about. I didn't know where to put this in the video, so I figured I'd get it out of the way. Let's talk about those tendrils attached to Apoc. So in the back, they're glued in very tight. Now I did heat this guy up and they did start to come loose, like stress mark kind of loose when I tugged on them, so be careful of that. The tendrils do plug in. There is a spot on the forearm and with the various weapons that we'll get to in a bit where they do plug in. So there's really no issue with them plugging in. The issue comes with moving the figure around. You move them around just a tad, and wham, it pops right off. And then you do it again on that side, wham, it pops right off. So they don't necessarily stick in there the best. For those who are looking to move the figure around a lot, you're going to have to readjust the tendrils with the new pose you set up. It can be annoying. It can be a bit frustrating. It's not something that I like ideally, but I don't know. I mean, it's the figure's out, so it's too late to make any changes. They are somewhat flexible, but they are pretty stiff, just so you are aware. Over time, it will be interesting to see if these things warp and the paint flakes off, but there's that, so you know what's going on. Back to articulation. Upper body, side-to-side movement. There's a ball peg in there, and we do have rotation. Going forwards and backwards with the nap crunch, it's very limited. I'm sure those who like modify their Marvel Selects could make it work better. He does have a waist twist though, so that should cheer you up. And then of course we have the legs. Apoc can do the splits. He can kick forward pretty good and go back ever so slightly. And you got that nice working action there. We do have an upper thigh cut right there. Single bend at the knee with a hinge and swivel action, so you can see that there. And then at the feet, the hinge goes down and it goes up, and then it rocks side to side, and then you have peg holes at the bottom. As far as the aesthetic goes, he looks mean, he looks menacing. Some people complain the head's too big. The guy that picked this up for me thinks this Apoc kind of looks like Forrest Whitaker. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that statement. I think he looks pretty cool. I really don't have an issue with how his head looks. And that's just me, though. As for the body design, and I should say for the overall aesthetic of this figure, it definitely has a Toy Biz Build-A-Figure Apocalypse vibe to it. I don't know if that was intentional. I kind of feel like it was to pay homage to that. But if you have that Build-A-Figure, I think this complements it very nicely. And then, of course, we have the bottom here. Another thing I wanted to point out, I like that there's silvers, light blues, dark blues, all throughout the figure to, kind of make it pop a little more. I know that's in the aesthetic of the design, but it works. As far as accessories, we have a mace, we have a claw laser thing, and then we have a drill bit, and we have a pair of open hands and a pair of fisted hands. So I'll go ahead and show some photos of that and how that all works. So if you want to plug in something like the mace, for example, all you do is you plug it in. It does have a hinge on it, so you are aware. It unplugs like that. And then what you can do is you can take the drill bit in there, stick it in like that. I would suggest heating this up to make it fit better. But once it's in, it's in. It's not going to fall out easily. At least that was my experience. Same with the claw clamp laser thing. It plugs in like so. You take off the forearm on that one too, but as you can see, the tendril, it falls off, so you got to find the right pose. But you plug it in, it doesn't look too bad. You move it around and get it to work. See, look, there's another angle of the claw clamp thing. And then there's our drill bit for maximum penetration. And then we have the mace. Once again, it has a hinge and can clobber things all day long. And then we have the open hands to express himself, which is nice. And then he has a pair of fisted hands to punch people in the face, because why not? Overall, I mean, it's a cool figure. It's the only Apocalypse I currently have in my collection, so I'm happy with it. It'll be interesting to see how Marvel Legends people feel about it, if they like it or if they don't. Let me know in the comments. Are you picking this up now that you've seen it? You're going to pass on it? I'm curious to know how you feel about it. But once again, I like it. I was very happy for this. I know there's been some changes. I know earlier on in promotional pictures, they had the arms popping off. Looks like they went with a different design. I don't know if that was for cost reasons. But once again, he should be hitting stores now, so pick him up. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. And until we meet again, great googly moogly.